Hello, hello. We are here for our May mystery stamping. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. I don't know, it was really weird. I just tried to go live and it was telling me that I couldn't connect. But then, like a second later, it decided to bring me right into the video. So who knows? Sometimes technology can be our friends and sometimes not. But glad to see that we are live and going here. Hello, Karen. Welcome. So I'm glad you guys can come in here and join me. This is May Mystery Stamping. I have got a great little technique card to share with you guys today. I want to share with you guys. So this month I am giving away all the trimmings, embellishments. The reason why I picked these is because 4th of July is closely upon us. Probably way too close. My son's birthday, he'll be 20 this year, is actually July 1st. So we always kind of take into consideration our 4th of July partaking because we kind of celebrate his birthday with friends and family during then. But the reason why I picked these is because we've got the cute little stars in here so you guys can get started on your 4th of July cards or invitations. We've got some stars, we've got the little white dots and then some red ones. But I wanted you guys to be aware that you could take a blue Stampin' Blends pen and you can actually color right over your little white dots and make them blue. Then you could have some red, white, and blue dots to add to your projects for the upcoming holiday. So that is what I will be giving away this month. The way it works is you guys will post a picture of your completed card when we are done here in the Pink Barn Stampers group. I will then do a drawing on the evening of Wednesday 28th and post a winner. And one of you lucky people who create a project and post it in here, you will be getting this in the mail. So you will have to watch for Wednesday evening to see if you are a winner. All right, so all you have to do is just snap a picture, grab your phone, grab your camera, snap a picture, however you post pictures to Facebook. You're gonna just take a picture of your completed card when you finish it and post it here, and then we will do a random drawing. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We are at a very brisk 96 degrees here in Tucson. Jokes, brisk, right? But yeah, we are very warm here in Tucson. I guess I shouldn't say very warm. I better be careful what I say because we are going to get much warmer. But 95 is a little on the warm side if you ask me, because I'm not a big fan of the heat, but that's okay. We're making it through. We always do. Hello, Veronica. Oh, that's fantastic, Karen, that you made the graduation card. Yeah, that's really fun. Actually, where do I have it sitting right over here. Yeah, he had a blast making this little fun fold card here. Well, that's not the one that he made. I think he made... Yeah, is that? I can't remember which one he did. I don't know. I made one. Oh yeah, this is his because he kind of goofed up on his stamping, but that's okay. We'll give him grace. So that was his little card that he created. So super cute and fun because of the graduation season upon us. Yeah, I know, Veronica, right? We are going to be hitting the hundreds. That's when... You know, a lot of us here in the desert, we hunker down, we stay indoors, unless you have a pool. My mom has a pool, so we go over and play in her pool, but it's still hot in the sun. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, when it gets up over 100 degrees, sometimes the pool is just as gross as just being outside because her pool gets very warm in the summer. Because when we don't cool down at night and we still stay in the hundreds at night, her pool does not have a chance overnight to cool down. Like now, during the month of May, her pool gets to cool down at night because we get down in like the 60s and 70s at night. And then throughout the day, it's warm, but then it cools back down. So her pool doesn't ever get super hot during the month of May. But going into June and July and August, when we get our really heat set months going on here, her pool is almost like going inside of a hot tub. It's kind of gross. But then again, you're wet and you have a breeze, and you know, it's still kind of nice to be in the pool anyways. It's just being out in that sun that is brutal. And sometimes, I mean, if we don't constantly lather ourselves up with, and I'm very, very prone to burning in the sun, so I have to really be careful in the sun. 65 in Montreal. Oh my gosh, Mary, way to rub it in. That is fantastic weather if you ask me. 65 is my jam. I mean, I do like the 70s. That's in that area, I'm good. That's like perfect weather as far as I'm concerned. But okay, so we are here for mystery stamping. Let's go ahead and get into this card today. So if you have your supplies ready, then you know that we need to have a card base of white or vanilla. You could have also used beige, the basic beige that we have. Kind of just a muted color that is what we need for our card base. This is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. So we're gonna go ahead and fold this and go ahead and make sure we burnish that down. Now we're gonna do something kind of different with our card base. We're gonna add some things to it, but we're gonna fiddle with it too. So if you guys have any questions while I'm doing this, please make sure you type it in the chat here so I can answer that. Yeah, right, Veronica? Anything over 80 is yuck. I agree. I'm with you, girl. Okay, so then our next piece that we need to have, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So typically when we think of our second layer pattern paper, we normally think of it as being 4 1/4 by, or 4 by 5 1/4. But this one is not. This is going to be the same exact size as our front card base, okay? Then we need to have another pattern paper. I chose one that's just a little bit lighter, but still goes with that, you know, the color scheme here. This is 2 by 4 1/4. Then we need to have a little 2-inch circle. Now you don't have to have, so don't stress if you don't have a 2-inch circle. You could do like a 1 3/4, a 2 1/4, somewhere around in the 2-inch range for your circle. And I just used my 2-inch circle punch. If you're anything like me, you probably have your Stylish Shapes dies. They're one of my favorite dies to have because you get 5 different circles in this die. I know mine's a mess. I use it all the time, so it doesn't even stick anymore. But Stylish Shapes dies are still current in our catalog, and they are a fantastic set of dies to have. And then it also says to have a die or punch little sprig or floral piece. So I brought this. This is from our Painted Lavender dies. Now these are, last time I checked, they are still available, but they are in our last chance kind of clearance rack, aka clearance rack. That let me look it up really quick, but they were on a pretty fantastic discount. Let me look it up here so I make sure we do still have some in stock. That is kind of a shock because these were regularly $32 for this fabulous set of dies here, and it is clearance down to $16. Now, the stamp set that coordinates with this is also on our last chance products as well for $14, normally $20. So that is awesome. You can pick that full bundle up for roughly around $30 for a die and stamp set. And as you can see, these outlined dies here can coordinate with that stamp set. But This is not about Stampin' Up! Products. This is just about us making a card, but I do want you to be aware of those things because most of you guys do have, you know, the Stampin' Up! Stuff. So, okay, this is what we're going to do with our card. We are going to go up roughly anywhere between a third to a quarter of the way up of our card. I'm going to say more of like a third, and we are just going to tear. Now, I suggest you take your thumb with your other hand, the opposite of what you're tearing, and hold it along there so you can really get kind of control of your tear. So yeah, it's more of like a third of the way up. Then don't throw this piece away. We're gonna need this. So what you wanna do with this piece is you want to also see how on here we've got the torn, because I tore towards me on this. You've got the jagged edge. I like that on a torn card technique. So on this piece here, you could flip it over, but then, I don't care for that because it doesn't quite match up. So I'm going to now come down here and tear off roughly about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of more from that. So hang on to this. This can be discarded. You don't need that centerpiece, but you will need this. And you can kind of eyeball it. It's completely your discretion how much you want to see in here. I think I'm gonna want a little bit more. So this is why I tell you to only go a third of the way up, because then you need to decide how much space you want to have in here. And you'll see why in just a minute. But I am going to tear off just a little bit more from this card base section. Okay, like so. That gives me a little bit more space in here. But make sure you keep this big enough, because this is where your sentiment is going to get stamped, is on this bottom torn piece, okay? But that's going to have your flush 3 edges on it. Okay, then what we need to do is we need to take your little 2-inch piece and we're going to tear it as well. So I'm going to tear that, and I'm going to leave it. I should have done a little bit different because I do like that torn look at the outside. That's okay. So that piece, we're going to adhere. We're going to adhere that in the inside of this. Actually, I'm going to use that down there. I'm going to use my smaller piece at the top, because I'm going to tear off, well, no, because that still doesn't change anything. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to just put some glue on the back side of this. You could have torn it down the center. I don't know why I didn't. I just wasn't thinking, I guess. Go figure. Well, for some reason, my glue is being temperamental. Don't you hate that when that happens? You're like, come on, we got a video to do here. You don't need to be all goopy. So don't glue all the way against here, because you're going to be seeing a part of that. Just glue that bottom portion. And then we're going to adhere this right to that inside part of the card. We don't want to go too far down. Now you can manipulate that and you just want a little portion of that to be shown. So just a little smidgen of that. Okay, that's going to be adhered there. Then our other piece that we tore off is going to get adhered to this piece. So again, only applying glue to the edge. We're going to take this piece and we're just going to lay that right down on the edge of that, like so. Let's get it straight. Okay, there's that. Make sure my lines don't look too crazy wonky. Okay, so there's that part. Now, before we do anything with this, we are going to take this piece and I want the cute little foxes to be shown. I'm going to adhere this right to my inside flap, and it's going to adhere to this piece as well, and you'll see why as soon as I get this done. Okay, so this is going to go all the way up to your score line, and you're getting to see both sides of that beautiful Designer Series paper on this card base. So now when we fold that down, see, now you can see this, but with this piece, this is going to adhere right like that. So you get to see that inside Designer Series paper as well. Again, if you want to see more of that, you can always push these up even further. You can tear even more of your card that you want to. It's your card. You do it how you want. This piece, we are going to adhere right to the bottom of this. So since we've already got that Designer Series paper, you're just going to adhere that right to the edge of that. So everything lines up nicely. Okay, there is that beautiful torn technique showing off our Designer Series paper. I'm going to take my sentiment. Now I picked thank you because I can never have too many thank you cards. And I am using my Night of Navy ink. And this is going to get stamped right down here in this bottom left-hand corner, just like so. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take our little circle here, and our circle is going to go right up over here in the corner, and we're going to add our cute little floral image. So you can either pop this up, lay it flat, depends on how you want your card. I think I'm going to do mine flat because I want this to be more of my focal than this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that flat down on my card. Okay, I'm going to place this right here. Oh, see, I would love to be in Montreal then. If May is in the 70s and 70, you know, around 70, 75, that is prime time weather. And then that is going to get laid right on top of there. But when you're tearing your edges of your cardstock, it's wiser to tear less in the beginning and then tear more as you go, just to make sure that you don't over tear and then you're like, oh geez, I totally blew it, I over tore on my piece and now I have to start over. We don't want you to have to keep using up cardstock. I would just suggest that you start lower on your card and then you can tear up as you go. So there is our fantastic, super fun mystery stamping card. You guys can have so much fun with this. Just be sure to use your pattern papers that kind of coordinate, and you guys are going to have so many cards in your stash using this fun tearing technique. And how fun is this? It really gets to show off, like I said, both sides of your paper. The inside is still pretty to go along with your outside. We could take, actually, using that painted, this is the painted lavender stamp set that I was saying is on clearance, our last chance products for $14. We could take like this twig right here, and using this, we could place that in the inside. Let's do that actually. I know I don't normally do the insides of my cards for you guys here because it's something you guys can decide what you're going to do on the inside. But since we're here, hey, why not? I love stamping, so we're going to just continue with this gorgeous card. So using that same Night of Navy, I'm going to place this right over here on the edge. Give that a second to marinate into that paper. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Love the color. Then, let me see. Actually, I want to do something else. So let me grab the stash of this paper, and I am going to come back in with a small little piece of the so you're getting a bonus on today's card. Because like I said, I normally don't do the insides on mystery stamping, but okay, I'm gonna lay that piece right there. Okay, and then just snip off the edges, and then I have a complete card ready to go when I need it. A fantastic little thank you card that has quite a bit of detail going on here, but really easy to do. And then all I have to do is just stamp my inside sentiment, and my card is good to go out in the mail. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Have fun playing with this technique. It's kind of one of those that's kind of foolproof because of the fact that, I mean, you're gonna make it as wide as you want, as narrow as you want. If you only want a little piece of this showing, then you only show a little bit. So it's completely up to your discretion on how much of your paper you want to be seen. So you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. My husband and I will be live on the 23rd, which is Friday, over on my regular business page, Pink Barn Stamper with Danny Garola. You guys can catch us over there. We go live at 4 p.m. Mountain or Pacific time. So yeah, we always have a good time. I was just actually in the house talking to him, and I was like, "Hey, what kind of card do you want to make?" And he was like, "I'm not sure yet." We had kind of a rough day yesterday, so our brains are not quite into like what we need to be focusing in on. So he's got time. I'm gonna help him kind of come up with something. I've got to think of upcoming holidays. I think he might do a Father's Day card. He might need a Father's Day card, and that is coming up next month. So I don't know, we'll play around. Or we do have Memorial Day coming up. What is it? This Monday, the 26th. So maybe he can come up with a fun Memorial Day card. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. I love you all. Bye-bye.